He must be around here somewhere. This is the Beer Sweden headquarters and incorporated into the brewery. Hang on, there's some bottles over there. He's got to be around here somewhere. It looks like he's had a good night anyway, wherever he is.
Check it out.
You'll have to excuse me a minute because I'm going to put this on the tripod now. So there'll be
we're a bit rusty, aren't we, Trev?
Well, there'll be a bit of... Yeah, so get it on the
lights on and everything. Hello everyone, welcome to Beer Sweden TV. It's been a while, Trev, hasn't it? Do you think we should start by explaining why we have been away for so long?
We had a falling out.
We?
Yeah.
Okay. Is that the story we're going with?
That's what we're going with, but okay, the truth.
Not the fact we've just been lazy.
You can't handle the truth.
Okay. Well, anyway, we're back together again. We've made up then.
Yeah.
In this story that we're fabricating. We've made up again and we're back. And we are committed, or we should be, Trev, to doing many more Beer Sweden TV episodes. Is that right?
Absolutely.
Okay. Right. Okay.
Excuse me, just a minute.
What?
I had to clear my throat.
Oh, okay. So what we're going to do, Trev...
So we're not going to tell him what we had a falling out about?
I can't remember. What did we have a falling out about, Trev?
I don't know, I'm putting this all on you. It's called improv, mate.
Oh, is it really? Okay. We had a falling out about... we
wouldn't be girlfriends because you're married.
What about the weather?
Could be about the weather. Oh, I know what. You like skiing too much for an Englishman.
Oh, that is true, actually. Although I'm not that keen on it, to be honest with you. It's just that I feel compelled, you know, living up here in Norland.
Okay, fair enough.
It's kind of part of
Funny, strange enough, I don't.
You don't do it, do you?
No.
Have you ever skied in your life?
I've done it. Went down the hill at Hemhaven, about 90 miles an hour. Ended up in a barrier down the bottom, and I thought, I ain't doing this again.
Did you drop your H on the way down the hill?
Drop my H?
Yes. You went down a hill, not an ill.
Did I say hill or hill?
No, you went ill.
Oh.
Went down an hill.
Went down the hill, got very ill.
It's a thing that, you know, it's a long thing. That
got very ill
by
by crashing down the bottom, and I said never again. And since then, I've not missed it at all.
I don't think the Beer Sweden community have got any interest in why we fell out, Trev, or any make-believe.
Really, you don't think so?
I don't think so.
Okay, well, fair. I'll tell you what then. Let's get back on this.
Are the two beers that are in front of us right now? Because you know what, Trev?
Go on in.
Where are we now? Are we in real time or in pretend Trev time?
No, this is the actual real future now.
Okay, so Easter then. That's still in the future, yeah?
Hang on, let me work it out. When are you going to put this up? When are you going to...
Today.
I mean...
Now, live. I'm beaming it right now.
I think it might be the Monday before Easter at the moment.
Easter's in the future.
It might be the Monday before Easter.
It might be, but, you know, we never know, do we? That's,
okay.
That's the beauty of the time-space continuum.
Of course.
Anyway, the good news is that it's Easter soon. And so, of course, in the last few weeks, a raft of Easter beers have hit the Systembolaget. Did you notice that, Trev?
Yes.
A raft of them hit the Systembolaget. These are two from our good chums at Sigtuna Bryghus. There are two beers, actually, that launched this year, two Easter beers, both here. The first one, shall I hold these up for you, Trev? Do you know how to do it? Can you remember? Sigtuna...
Hold it exactly where your boat is, in front of your boat, and I'll get a central in.
Like that?
Up a bit more.
Up a bit more.
Up a bit. Bernie, right a bit. Up a bit.
Take the shot.
Got it.
Okay. It's the Sigtuna Dark Easter. 7.6% volume, this one, Trev. 33 centilitre. Come back to that in a minute. I think the first one we're going to try is this one. Okay.
Hold it up a bit more.
A little bit more.
Hold it up. Hold it up. Hold it up.
Up a bit.
Hold it up. Arm's length.
Got it?
Got it.
This is the Sigtuna. This is the Posk Weizen. 5.2%, so slightly kinder in terms of the alcohol, and of course a bit more style on style. And this is a ½ litre bottle, again from Sigtuna Bryghus. Two very different styles of beer here, Trev. Two very different interpretations of an Easter beer. Now, I seem to think, reading the press releases as I do, that the Dark Easter was actually conceived and brewed by Matthias, whereas Emil actually was responsible for the Weizen. For the Weiss beer.
Is that Matthias' swan song then?
This will probably be one of the last ones actually for Matthias before he obviously leaves to past as new.
Better be good then, because you're only as good as your last brew.
Well, that's what they say, Trev. That's what they say. Now, that might not be the case, of course, you know, because in a brewery you're obviously helping each other out all the time. I don't know if you can actually do it quite like that, but that's how I sort of understood it. Trev, I haven't got any. God, big notes, big aroma come out as well. I haven't got any proper tasting glasses today. Did you notice that? So I've actually managed to dip into my extremely extensive Spendrups glass collection. As you know, I'm a big fan of Spendrups, and I've got two very actually pretty cool retro glasses here, where we're going to be tasting out of for the next couple of episodes.
Just a quick side note. Just a quick side note.
Yeah.
As much grief as we go in the beginning, brutal brewing's getting better. Right, we can get back to that now. Do you agree or not?
Big statement, Trev. Big statement. And yeah, I would say so actually. I would say so. I warmed to them. I don't think they like us particularly very much, but we like everyone, don't we, Trev?
No,
you don't like anyone, but anyway, big number. Anyway,
I'm a professed xenophobic.
It's a Weiss beer, wheat beer. It's German style. As you can see, it's got that kind of sort of lemon curd look to it. Cloudy, absolutely as it should be, with a very sort of egg whitey, frothy head to it. Can you hear the noise in the background, Trev? You know why?
That's your dad-in-law.
That's my dad well, kind of. He's actually helping out at the studio here. This is where we're filming actually at the beer studio. And of course, we're busy underway trying to build a world-class
your father-in-law?
local brewery. No, he's not. They're not married. They're Sam.
Oh right. Oh
yeah.
dearie me.
Sam, but you know that.
How very dare they?
Living in sin, I think we were saying.
Oh dear.
Anyway, look, it looks absolutely as you would expect a German Weiss beer to be. When you smell it, I'm expecting two things, Trev. What do you normally expect when you're smelling a German Hefe? What do you normally expect? I'll tell you.
No, I want to guess. The thing is, all the things that are coming to my head, because it's a yeast beer, all rude things are coming to my head.
Rude things?
Yes.
Okay.
So I think you should take this one.
Moving on. Normally the things I'm expecting is a kapow of Skumbanan, okay? Which is...
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Skumbanan, chewing gum, tuggummi, and a little bit of kind of some herbal, medicinal note, normally in the form of coriander, something like that, okay? And what I'm getting is pretty much all those things. They're there. Quite tame though, quite a nice level of it, not too crazy. Right there. Quite dry, not very sweet. Fairly simple sounds like it's a negative, but it's a fairly simple, uncomplicated beer. This one, quite clean. Not too fruity, not too sweet. Sometimes they get a bit cloying, you know, a bit too banana-y and bubblegum up front. This isn't that. It's got some it's also dry, hay-like sort of quality to it. But definitely it's got that nice sort of medicinal, herbal finish to it, which I do like, which makes it refreshing, in my opinion. What to drink that to with the Easter food? Not really sure. For me, that's shellfish, that's prawns, shrimps. It's light white fish, that sort of thing. Delicate. It's quite a delicate beer. It has got this quite nice dry, herby, bitter finish to it. Nice. Like it. In terms of rating, Trev, because we still do that, don't we?
I think so, mate.
On what scale should we just carry on?
I think it's at a 35.
Or 0 to 5 to 35.
Yeah.
Just abstracts.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's stick to 0 to 5, shall we? 0 being nothing. And 5 being absolutely spectacularly glorious. You have to go and lie down in a dark room. Okay. This I'm going to give. I'm going to give it 3. 2.9. 3. I'm going to give it 3. I like it. It's solid. Solid, Trev. Solid. Right. Now let's move on to the second Sigtuna Easter beer. This one promises to be very different. Okay, you can sell that straight from the get-go. I mean, look at it.
Hold it up.
Head is, well, it's towering. It is also extremely fluffy and thick.
It looks like a Coke float.
It pretty much does actually, Trev, doesn't it? It looks like a yeast culture on the top here. It's absolutely foaming. It looks dangerous and looks the sort of thing I just want to.
Not drink.
No, I want to drink. I want to drink it instantly. Lovely, dark, almost ruby mahogany colour. There's some very definite red hints to this beer. This is the Easter, the dark Easter ale. Uses, as I understand it, a number of roasted malt varieties or speciality malt varieties, and it also has hops from the USA and New Zealand. Apparently, it's pretty good with things like lamb, you know, for the Easter table. But Matthias himself thinks that you should basically just put a little bit of hard rock on, sit down, get rid of your guests, and enjoy this in quiet isolation.
And sing "I'm Forever Blowing Bubbles."
Now, when you smell exactly, and when you're, if you like that sort of thing, when you smell it, lovely, fruity, rich, dense straight away. I can tell this is not going to. This is going to be big. Yeah, beautiful hot aromas and this black currant, coffee, chocolate. This is going to be good. Licorice, tar. That's all there too. Salt, licorice. It's and very roasted finish to it. Very roasted. Not as sweet actually as the nose would suggest. But this is a lovely beer. And this is so unlike an Easter beer for me, because Easter beers, I don't know about you, Trev, but Easter beers are a bit like Christmas beers, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
They're all kind of like sort of wishy-washy lagers, really, darker lagers. They didn't really bring much to the table. But how times have changed. This is typical of the craft beer revolution. What it's done is actually turn these boring seasonal releases into extremely interesting ones. Here we've got an example, just in microcosm here. We've got a Heffy and we've got a dark ale, two completely opposing styles, approaching the Easter sort of table in completely different ways. And I agree. This, if you're going to drink it with anything that you're going to do at Easter, make sure you go out and shoot a bear this Easter, because that's the sort of thing that this will go with.
What, as in naked?
A little bit, no, as in a furry thing that hibernates in the winter.
Right.
In terms of rating, Trev, I'm going to go higher on this one because it's more down my alley. I'm not a huge fan, I have to be honest, and I'll say this, I'm not a huge fan of Heffys myself, particularly the German varieties. I'm more a kind of Wit beer guy, I suppose. I think they're a little bit more softer and more sophisticated. Too much bubble gum and skum banana for me is not a good thing. So that's maybe why I'm leaning more towards this beer. I'm going to go on this one, Trev. I'm going to go 4.1. I really like it. I think it's such a great beer. And of course, when it's still cold up here in Norland, it's like, what was it today? -5, 6, 7, blowing a gale. This is the sort of beer that I want to drink. What do you think? You want to try it?
I am going to try them.
Oh, of course you can't come because you're too far away now.
I'm too far away and I'll be seen on...
They might see your face.
Exactly.
We can't have that, can we?
No.
Anyway, well, I think that was a good start, Trev. We're sort of like working our way back into it, aren't we? We're trying to rediscover our craft. Yeah?
I actually think, as the outro, you should come and bring those 2 beers to me.
What, Trev?
You should bring those 2 beers to me.
No, that's not going to happen.
Yes, it is. Pick them both up, one in each hand, walk around the bar towards the camera and give them to me, and I'll fade out.
You think I work here, do you?
Go on in. Hang on a minute.
Basil!
Basil! Right, say cheers and beers.
Cheers and beers.